Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll get started in just a moment. Just waiting for, there's a bit of a delay between when I'm broadcasting and when I see it on the screen, so just making sure it shows up on the screen. And there it is. All right, delay is over. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Art Autopsy. This is a live streaming show where I work on paintings and I encourage you to create art from home. Uh, be it painting or sculpting or whatever your medium of choice is. This is a reoccurring show that I do. It's every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So the next one will be 2 weeks from now. And I'd just like to encourage everyone to get your art supplies together. And this gives you a reoccurring excuse to make some art if you tune in every 2 weeks. And I'll be checking out the chat throughout the night, so feel free to chat with me. Let's see. Violet says, "What's up? What's up? I destroy, not seize. What up, Clint? I made it." All right. Oh, I see. It took me a while to phonetically get the name. Excellent. And Violet says, "I'm painting florals still." Excellent. Jennifer says, "Hello." Hello, Jennifer. Yeah, everyone who's watching, just sound off, let everyone know you're here. And special thanks to my patrons, Jennifer Dupil, Tango 14, Travis Carney, Anthony Ferraro, Rachel, Derek Justice, Sea of Dead Faces, and Violet Gray. It is your patronage that keeps me going, keeps me doing these live streams and so much more. So let's get into it. First, I want to talk about the painting that I did 2 weeks ago. So at the end of that live stream, this is what the painting was looking like. And I'll tell you right now, I was pretty bummed by the end of that live stream because I was not feeling it. I mean, you can see the piece right now. It just didn't look good. But they can't all be winners. But I have a motto, and that is keep painting until I don't hate it. So I just worked on this for 2 weeks solid, and it went from this, which is something that I absolutely hate, to this, which is how it looks right now. And now I love it. It's actually one of the favorite things that one of my favorite things that I've painted in a while. So I'll bring it in so you can see it a little more close up. But yeah, that's how it turned out. Actually, in spite of the rough start, I really had a great time working on this piece, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll probably be doing some prints of this one. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this right now, but I'm going to be doing some. I'll be doing something with it. Definitely some prints, and who knows where else that painting will end up. But today's painting is this lovely blank slate. And as always, we don't know what it's going to be yet. We just begin, and something will come out of it. Hello, Travis. Thank you for watching. Uh, yeah, anyway, we're going to get started. And as always, I encourage you to be making art from home. Oh, you know what? Real quick, before I get too far into this, I'm going to keep covering this, but I'll keep talking. If you do manage to create any art during one of my art autopsy shows, I would love it if you would send me a photo of the art that you create during the show to my email address, which is clintcarneycreates@gmail.com, and I will feature it on an upcoming show. And to that end, I got the pleasure of seeing this piece in person from Jennifer Gupil. She painted this lovely painting. Let me find it here. Right here. This is the piece that Jennifer painted during the last art autopsy, and I absolutely love it. So great job, Jennifer, and thank you so much for sharing it with me and letting me share it with the rest of the viewers at home. So everyone, say awesome things about Jennifer's awesome painting in the chat so she can feel the love. And back to painting. So first, as per usual, I'm just toning the canvas, laying down a medium color here, kind of medium value, greenish gray. Trying to get this in as fast as possible because this is certainly not the most interesting to watch portion of the evening. So we'll just cover this with paint as fast as humanly possible. And one thing I did before I started the night is I painted the borders of the canvas black. Normally I end up framing my pieces anyway, but just in case I don't frame a piece, it looks nicer with a black border, and it's far safer to do that before you start painting than it is to doing it after, and then you run the risk of accidentally getting black paint on your painting, which of course I have done plenty of times. And I will do it again, I'm sure. And so we are just going to paint until we can't paint no more. So if you're in it for the long haul, so am I. I'm going to start with acrylic paint, just for the sake of the live painting, because it dries faster than oil, and I'm going to get essentially the value sketch of what the painting will become done in acrylic. So think of this stage as just the sketching stage, although I'm sketching in paint. Oops, I'm spilling water everywhere. And just cleaning off the old brush. Which is a crucial step unless you want to keep rebuying brushes over and over again. Anyone that is making art tonight, please let us know in the chat what you are creating. So I've got I'm just going to bring this over so you guys can see it real quick, but I have a ridiculous collection of brushes, and I never know right away what I'm going to choose, but I'm just going to make a choice and live with it. Okay, I'm actually going to pick a brush that's a little ratty because I can be tough on my brushes when I'm starting a sketch. Okay, and on my palette I just squeezed out 3 colors of the acrylic. So again, this is the green, gray, kind of a mid-value, and then just black and white. And I'm just going to sketch with this, and we'll see what turns out, or what it turns into. And I will attempt, see, I set up 2 cameras in an attempt not to block, hold on a second, not to block the canvas too much, but it's kind of hard to not block it. So if I end up blocking it too much over the course of the evening, just say something in the chat and I'll try to be better at it. Try to be conscious of it. Okay, I think I may just do kind of like a almost like a simple portrait style painting of inevitably something ghastly, but let's see. We'll see. At least that's where we'll start with it, and we'll see what it turns into. see, I need to set up my water and brushes and palette in a different spot so I'm not constantly crossing the camera with my arm, but I thought it through poorly this time. Well, I'll do better next time. Maybe. Okay, so it's going to be some kind of a portrait. It's going to be have like a hood of some sort, and just some interesting fabric. We'll try to do something fun with the fabric. All right, it's a basic shape. And, you know, as always, I'm staying open throughout this process to changing this completely. As you saw with the painting I did in the last live session, from how it was during that painting session versus how it turned out by the time it was finished. Quite different. And you know, just in keeping the process fun and creative, I just like to stay open to you know, a painting becoming something different than I initially intend, which is kind of the freedom of not having an intention when you go into a piece anyway, right? And then once the sketch is in good shape, then we'll eventually bring it into some oil, start working in oil paint. But for now, just keeping it acrylic, figuring out what this is going to be. Hey, Charlie, thanks for tuning in. And thank you for the compliment on the shirt. Okay. All right, starting to turn into something. Haven't quite identified the character yet, but shapes are happening. And I'm just letting that tone of the gray-green of the canvas act as my middle values for now. And I'm just putting in black and white, kind of just feeling it out, trying to create a face that has some kind of personality. Every once in a while I am going to have to block this camera because I'm painting like this. I'm painting at an angle, which is going to result in a skewed image if I don't periodically block the camera. Hey, Andrew, thanks for tuning in, and thank you. Yeah, all right, it's a face. It's a face. Successfully painted a face-ish. And the tricky thing, faces are generally pretty easy for me. the, those go fast. Fabric, however, can get a little more complex. It's really fun to paint, but it has a life of its own. You gotta keep in mind the shapes it's going to take and how it's going to bend and how it's going to create light and shadows around it. So, um, yeah, you'll watch me fail and erase and start over and all kinds of stuff throughout the course of this painting, inevitably. And I'm using a pretty big brush because I'm just blocking in, shapes. So somewhat big at least to start with. And as I move on, um, I'll get into smaller and smaller brushes. But we are ways away from the small brush stage of the evening. Over the weekend, I was vending at a convention called the Hyena Horror Market, and that was a little convention in North Hollywood, and it was a lot of fun. I know a couple of you watching, or at least one of you watching, was there. That would be you, Jennifer. Jennifer and her husband picked up um, one of my paintings that I did at one of the previous art autopsies, the one with the cat and the goat slaying the dragon. So I'm really happy that it went to them. They've got a pretty rad collection of my work, and they're great people. So I was really happy to see that painting go to a good home. But the convention was super fun. Um, my table was in between my friend Brett, who goes by Bort. He's one of the co-hosts of, or not, he works at the Woody Show, so he's sometimes on the air. For those of you not in LA, that's a local LA radio station. And then on the other side was a wonderful young artist whose work I wasn't aware of before, and her name was Marion Mosley, and my wife and I actually ended up picking up one of her paintings because her work was really rad and I hadn't seen it before. So overall, really fun convention. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Yeah, just a good time. Yeah, this character is feeling pretty somber already, and I think I'm gonna lean into that. Thanks, Andrew. And Aaron, hey man, thanks for joining. Just reading all your comments. Thank you guys. I forgot that was my old AIM handle. That is correct. Charlie, I can see that. Yeah, sure. Inevitably, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that this character will take on some kind of inhuman quality as we go on. It's generally a safe bet with my work that's going to happen. And you can see how fast this acrylic dries. I mean, look at this. I just painted this. It's already, for the most part, dry, which is great when you just want to sketch something in fast, especially in the sketching phase. I have to make a lot of corrections because I tend to, I just work fast as a sketch. I mean, that's what sketches are for. You know, you don't have to spend too much time you know, worrying about the details, because while I'm still figuring out the shapes, you know, I want the freedom to just paint over my mistakes as I go, and that is certainly what I'm doing. And you know, I'm just making like some arbitrary decisions here about how I think this cloth might want to fold in on itself. It's going to be kind of big and puffy, and you know, yeah, so just working that out as I go. And then I think what will be really cool later on, once this is in better shape, is trying to figure out a pattern that can go over the fabric and that can um, bend around all of these shapes that I'm creating, which will be a colossal pain in the butt to paint, but it will look cool, I think. As always, do not hold me to that. I may change my mind at any moment. I'm always 10 seconds away from just scrapping everything I've done and starting over, but I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good so far about the look of this character. Yeah, so anyway, more about the live event over the weekend, or the convention event. Um, well, let's see, who did I get to meet there? I got to meet Bill Moseley, who, if you guys are into horror, you likely know who he is already, but if you don't, um, he was in a lot of, still is in a lot of great horror films. He was in the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. He gets to deliver the "They're coming to get you, Barbara" line that film is famous for. He plays Chop Top in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He was in the that Rob Zombie trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. Anyway, so yeah, got to meet him. Super nice. I had actually met him before briefly, but I never expect that someone like that, he does a lot of conventions, meets a lot of people, and I didn't think he would remember me, which of course he didn't. But many moons ago, I was playing a show at the Henry Fonda Theater in Los Angeles I was playing keyboards for the band God Module, and we were opening up for the band Combi Christ. And Bill Moseley came out to hang out and contribute a bit to the Combi Christ set, and he hung out with us backstage. But that was at least 10 years ago now, I think. Time flies. Yeah, so this will be one material, will be this hood and cover here, and then we'll do some separate material here, which I'm just going to throw some bullshit stripy things on there just to tell myself visually that that's going to be a different material. And I think this is really going to be better if the background is darker. So I might just get a little bit of highlight around here just to separate the character from the background, and then I'm just going to make the background darker. Sorry, trying to catch up on the texts here. Charlie says, let's see, I miss AIM, just a time where I only had checked the internet when I got home and people weren't constantly online. Yes, the days of not being online all the time. Sad to see them go. Andrew says, Bill does music. I had no idea. If that's a reference to something I said, I may have misspoke. Actually, he was in a band before I met him. But I'm sorry. I was crossing Bill's in my head. No, Bill Mosley. Yes, he does. He does. He's been in a few different things over the years. He did recently a project he was telling me about this weekend. He did a project with one of the dudes from, I want to say Pantera or something like that, but I don't know, man. Terrible at remembering specifics. But I forgot what he did at the Combi Christ show. I don't remember if I knew he had a band at the time. I don't remember if they opened or if he just came out and maybe did something on a song with the band. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, very long time ago. Back when I used to drink, which means I remember it even less than usual. Okay, so I'm not going to go full black. I want some kind of a gradient happening in the background, but mostly black. We'll keep it like black around the edges at least, and then lighten it up a little bit as we get closer to the figure. I did actually attempt to WD-40 my chair before the live stream, but it didn't help that much. It is still squeaking. I tried though. There it goes. There goes the squeak. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling okay about this so far. How are you guys feeling about the composition here thus far? I know it's a lot simpler of a subject matter than I've done in the previous live streams, but I never like to paint the same thing twice, so inevitably they're all going to be quite different from each other. But you know, one of the, and don't hold me to this because we'll see how it goes, but I mean, if I keep this piece simple, I might actually be able to finish it in one sitting. That has been known to happen, although it has not happened yet on one of these live streams, but one day I'll do a painting start to finish in the live stream. It might be today. We'll find out. Let's see, who else did I meet at the convention? I met Stephen Bureau, who is the owner of Unearthed Films and a filmmaker, makes like uber gory films, which I have not seen yet actually, but I did pick up some of his Blu-rays. He's a nice dude. Look forward to checking that out. There was a vendor there that was selling horror VHS, and as if you watch any of my videos here on YouTube, you probably know I have a sizable horror VHS collection, and I was happy to add to that. Oh, and Bill Mosley also signed a VHS copy of House of a Thousand Corpses for me, so that was pretty cool. Was stoked on that. And then there were just a bunch of other artists who are friends of mine there that were vending. So it's pretty cool to see them. David Van Gogh, Robert Heckman, um, Thea Sachs, oh, Frau Sakra is the name she goes by, and who else? Man, there was just a ton of cool. Oh, Skip Crank was there with his awesome assemblage art. Um, yeah, just a really great collection of friends and stuff. So if you get a chance, assuming I do the next one, which I really hope I get the chance to, you should come out to one of those events because they're free to the public and yeah, just really cool kind of intimate setting to meet artists and filmmakers and stuff like that. So of course, uh, I will tell you guys when the next one's happening. In the meantime, in that regard, Monster Palooza is coming up, and if you don't know, that's like kind of the big horror convention here in LA. And I won't be vending at the convention, although I will likely, if all goes as planned, have a piece of art in the Monster Museum. They have a little section with an awesome display every year that they call the Monster Museum, and I've had works in that for many a year, and hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have a piece in this year as well, and I'll be walking around the convention. So if anyone goes to Monster Palooza, I generally just show up on Sundays. So if you're there on Sunday and you see me walking around, come say hi. Yeah, all right. I'm feeling all right about this. That's a start. That's a start. So, because this is going so good in the acrylics, I mean, we're only a half hour deep into the stream, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to a smaller brush and start, keep it with acrylic for the time being, but start putting in some little more detail. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Fourth live stream in the Art Autopsy series, and thus far I'm pretty sure I started them all off the same way, toning the canvas. I think the first episode I didn't use this medium gray color. I can't remember what color I used, but um, and then yeah, toning the canvas and then coming in and doing black and white underpainting. But contrary to what you see in this show, I don't always follow the same method every time I paint. So um, maybe in the future I can try do some other methods just so you guys can see some other techniques that I like to use. And you can do a lot of times too when I'm doing an underpainting. I don't do it in black and white. I'll do it in like a an olive green kind of gradient scale, um, or a sepia tone, or just trying to. I'm gonna inevitably mess this up as I go, but it's just working in little bits of detail in here. This wants to dry real fast too, but you can keep dipping your brush in water as you go and keep it a little a little wet. So I want this face to have kind of some deep set wrinkles, but also maybe some liver spots. We might be getting into, well, probably don't need to get into too much detail just yet, but now is the chance in the underpainting to experiment and think about what it could become. Oh, I just see notes here. Did my mic went out? Looks like it's back, but let me just double check my settings. Check, check, check. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing it on the meter. Thanks for letting me know, though. Yeah, I don't know why it cut out. I am just using like a Bluetooth microphone, so I guess it could have lost connection. Not that you need to hear my rambling to enjoy the process. Yeah, like if you've watched these before, you know I've talked about before that eventually I'm going to be bringing in some special guests to make art with me in the same room, and that I think will be probably a little more entertaining when we get into that, because then at least I can have a conversation with people instead of just talking to myself. But I did bring that up to a couple artist friends of mine, and some were interested, some were not. So we'll see. I still want to do a few more solo for right now, just while I still working out the kinks with some of the technical aspect of streaming and multicam. So like this, I try adding stuff each stream, which is probably invisible to the audience, but at least as far as my setup goes, just trying to figure out what's going to be the optimal way to do this stream. See, hey, we got 10 people watching right now. Yeah, thanks everyone who is spending the time watching me paint tonight. It means a lot that you guys are joining me here, and I hope you guys get something out of it. Definitely, if you're making any art at home, don't forget to send me pictures of the work to clintcarneycreates@gmail.com if you would like it featured on an upcoming live stream. Yeah, just getting the basic face worked in first, and then I'll figure out what what is going to be horribly wrong with them. I mean, they're already kind of miserable looking, but beyond that, beyond their misery, you know, something gnarly's got to be happening, maybe, or not, or I can just shock everyone and paint something normal. I don't see that happening though. I don't know, it's kind of giving off some Star Wars Emperor vibes here, so not my intention, but I can see that coming out. Maybe, and this will, I guess, when we get into the oil paint, maybe I'll just give them some gnarly, like, open wounds, like just sores covering their face. Something, something like that. That's a maybe. That's a contender for an idea there. Mm. Yeah, I do got to figure out the some kind of music that I can put on that's not going to get caught in the old YouTube filter, so that doesn't get taken down, because I am not a huge fan of painting in silence. Or actually, one thing that I wanted to do um, was figure out how to, if there's a way to have the computer speak the chat as it comes through. That would be pretty cool. Then I don't have to keep turning around every 5 seconds. Jennifer says it kind of looks like one of Van Gogh's potato eaters. Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Just thinking about where some open sores might be, and I'm just marking them off in black for future reference here. Yeah, all right. I'm feeling all right about it thus far. Good, not great. And again, just trying to imagine where I think the light is going to hit in these folds and how it's going to bring out the texture on the cloth, and probably want a harder line on the end of that. And then maybe maybe this end of the hood gets a little frayed, which we'll figure that out in greater detail later. But yeah, now that we got more people watching right now, I just want to recap. So for those of you who were in at the beginning, this is going to be old info, but for those just joining, I just wanted to show at the last live stream, I was working on a painting and I had a mirror set up and I was making goofy faces in the mirror and just kind of using that as a general reference. And this is how it looked by the end of that. I think it was just a 2-hour session. And as you can tell right now, it just looks awful. I really hated it. But I show you how bad this looks now because I want to encourage you, if you get to a point where you're not liking what you're painting, just keep working at it. So I spent another 2 weeks working on that painting, and it went from looking like that steaming pile of shit into this. And now I gotta say, yeah, I quite like this piece. It's one of you know, a, kind of a new favorite of mine. Really enjoy it. So as long as you're willing to put in the time and keep painting, there's very little mistakes that you can't fix with some patience. Yeah, this is going to be tricky once I get into putting some pattern in this fabric, because I went crazy with the folds. So when you're adding a pattern on top of that, then you really got to start thinking about how that pattern bends around the folds, and it's going to be a nightmare to do that. But that's how I set myself up, so I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, Charlie asked, did you title that last one? I did. It is called Self Portrait 2025. And I say that kind of jokingly because, it clearly does not look like me, but it started out with me painting in a mirror, and the further away it got from being me, the more I related to it, and I just, yeah, felt like an appropriate title somewhat for me. So that's what it was called. Yeah, so this was one material, this hood thing here. It's going to be another material under here, um, which I'm not going to flesh that out too much because I don't know what I'm going to do with that material just yet, but let's see. Man, this might be one of the faster paintings I've done for the live stream. I've already just about ready to move into oils already. Yeah. How are you guys feeling about this one so far? Do you love it? Hate it? Indifferent? Julie says she ripped up what she was working on last time. Oh no, Julie, say it ain't so. Although, I know the feeling. I've destroyed many a piece of art over the years, but hope you still had fun creating it though. I'll tell you, on that last painting, on this one, the most fun I had with this was actually the very last session. I mean, I was having a lot of fun just figuring out, how I could blend a hippopotamus, a wolf, and a snake into that painting. But once I got into detailing it and really bringing out the color and the eyes and things like that, I don't know, I think I spent just 4 or 5 hours last night just working on the detail, and just had a fantastic time painting. Okay, yeah, we're gonna call the underpainting done, and look at that, look how fast the acrylic dries. I can go like that. Oh, smeared it a little bit, but overall it's pretty dry. And I think we can start getting into oil. So let's do something here. And real quick again, just because more people are joining now, just want to say a quick thank you to all of my patrons who support my work over on Patreon. It means a lot to me. Helps me keep making art, and you guys rule. And now back to it. Okay, let me grab a palette. My palette is a big mess. Look at this. It just gets messier day by day, and then eventually it gets so messy that I am forced to clean it before painting. But it hasn't quite gotten there yet. I'm just living with the mess. So I'm gonna squeeze out some paint on here, get a little iron oxide red going on, and some titanium white. And I'm gonna go with an olive green for kind of cool shadows. Trying to find empty spots on my palette is becoming a challenge here. Let's see. And I just picked up a brand new tube of alizarin crimson because my last several tubes have gotten messed up on those, and finally picked up a new tube of that. And what else do we want? What other colors do we want? I think we're going to start there. I may squeeze out a little bit of ivory black too, just for fun. And finally, to complete the palette, I'm going to add some liquid, which is a medium. You know the drill if you've watched the show before. If you haven't watched it before, real quick recap, it is a medium. You can mix it with your paint. It helps thin them out so you can add on thin layers. It also accelerates the dry time. You certainly do not have to use a medium when you're painting, but for when using techniques like glazing, it certainly helps. Andrew says, thank you for reminding me. I will join. Oh, thank you. That would be amazing. Happy little trees, yes. Maybe there will be some happy trees. We just don't know. I mean, the character is certainly not that happy, so maybe some trees in the mix might bring some joy to their life. Okay, let's just let's just start with the face, I guess, because the face is going to be the easy part on this one, and the clothing is going to be the bastard of the painting. So let's just get some color in there on the face. And again, this is the iron oxide red, and I'm mixing it with liquid to glaze the color on there. And if you're not familiar with that term, that's where you just add thin amounts of paint, and that way you can layer multiple colors on top of each other and get some really dynamic effects. So it's almost just like tinting a black and white photo, you know. And so I'm piggybacking off of all of the light and shadow work that I did in the underpainting process by painting thin on top of it. All of that, all of that light and shadows show through, and now instead of just looking like a single color, this iron oxide red, you're getting all the light and shadow coming through, and it just is more dynamic. And this character is going to end up being pretty pale, I think, in spite of the extreme suntan I'm giving them right now. But after I get this thin coat on, I'm actually going to wipe a lot of it off and then start getting into adding more color. I love it when a painting comes together quickly. It doesn't happen that often for me, but this one is certainly taken shape already. Oh, got to get out my paint thinner. I use odorless terpenoid to thin my paints. It's a little easier on than breathing in paint thinner. Okay, now I'm just going to take a rag and tone this down just by wiping it off. And I'm trying to move with the contours of the face as I wipe. Just like when you're painting, kind of moving your brush strokes along the shape to reinforce that shape. Yeah, see? So it left the sepia tone of the iron oxide red in there, but pulled it back so it's not so heavy. Andrew says that's a really great color. Thank you. I love this color. It just makes doing skin tones very easy. And now I'm just taking the titanium white, and even though I wiped off the reddish color that I put in there, there's still enough left on the canvas, and of course, because it's oil paint, it takes a while to dry. So as I'm working in this titanium white, I'm actually able to blend it with the residue from the red color as I go. And you can see I keep painting outside of the lines and accidentally get my colors into the cloth, and as you can see, it is no big deal. You can just smear it around, and there's no mistakes that you can make that you can't fix with a little bit of patience. So I don't sweat it. And, again, I've talked about this before, but one of the joys of painting something that does not exist in real life is there's nothing that it has to look like, right? So if you mess up or it's different from how you imagined, you're really the only one that's going to know. As long as you're happy with the final product, that's what matters. Or I don't even know if that matters as much. As long as you're having fun in the process, I think that matters most. Now on the titanium white, I am not using the medium. So if you want to, if you lay down your color and then you start mixing in like a titanium white in this case on top of it, you don't want to add your medium to your titanium white. It's just going to change the consistency and you're just going to end up with a sloppy mess of colors then. But if you leave that undiluted, then it allows you to kind of do this technique where you can just blend right on the canvas. So this area right here that I highlighted just before I paint the rest of the nose, this is going to be the bridge of the nose where the bone, that nasal bone is. And so what I think I'm going to do, because I kind of accented it there with the shadow, I think I'm going to have a tear in there, maybe some kind of a little rip on their nose, just to make it extra fun for them. I think. All subject to change. Oops, I gotta swap my water and my turpenoid because I keep dipping my oil paint into water, which does no one any good. Alice says, Clint looking awesome. Aw, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in. Has anybody who's watching, I'm sure there are Alice fans in here. Did any of you get to catch their acoustic set this weekend? I know I am bummed that I had to miss it because I was doing that convention, but they were doing a acoustic renditions of their songs, and I got to see some clips that some people posted online, and it looked and sounded amazing. I just wish I could have been there to see it in person. Okay, I'm working my way down here, but I want to start introducing a little bit of this alizarin crimson in to the eyes here. If I can remember where I squeezed it on the mess that is my palette. There it is. Ta-da. See, Charlie says, anyone hear any good new albums lately? Oh, excellent question. I will let everyone else chime in. I'm trying to think of what the last thing I heard is that I liked. I don't know. You guys tell me. What's new and good? Yeah, that's what this painting needed, is that pop of red. Everything's better with blood. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I don't know about that on the nose yet or not, but I do like it under the eyes right there. That's looking cool. All right, get a new brush. This one's about ready to break off of the stick. Let's see, we're going to go with an even smaller brush next. Oh, New Birthday Massacre. I haven't checked out the new one yet. And Jennifer says Acoustic Alice is fantastic. I bet. Yeah, I mean, I could tell. I saw the videos you posted, and it looked amazing. Maybe was it you? I think it was you that posted the videos, and I had a couple friends that were there that posted videos. Create Sci-Fi is watching. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who watch my videos, if you saw the one I did a while back where I started a blaster build thing, I recently got a copy of that blaster that I had molded in that video, and I gave a copy to Anthony Ferraro over at Create Sci-Fi, and he fancied it up and made it look awesome, and he just put out a video on his channel of his process of converting that blaster into a more awesome blaster. So check out his channel when you can, if you like building props or watching other people build props, because it's a great channel. I watch it all the time. And I have a little cameo in that video too, so almost forgot to mention that. Trying to be somewhat smart about this and work from the top down, so I'm not. Otherwise, if you work from the bottom up, you're gonna start smearing wet paint all over. Andrew, I'm in DFF mode. I assume that's Dark Force Fest mode. Let's see. He's excited to check out Fleshfield and God Module Covenant. RIB, is that Raised in Black? To name a few. Oh yeah, that's going to be a great show, man. I wish I was there. I wish I was going this year too, but hopefully I'll be back out there soon enough for a future event. And Jennifer says VMV has released a couple new tracks from an upcoming release. Yeah, I got to check those out too. I am behind. I'll tell you, I'm in this. I don't know that it's a bad habit, but it's the habit that I'm in, where I just have like a big liked songs playlist on Spotify, and I pretty much just listen to that over and over again instead of like actively looking for new music that I haven't heard yet. But I need to go through and try to find some new stuff just to be aware of what's out there in the world that I haven't heard yet. And I've been working on some new music as well, but I'm always working on new music, so nothing, no new releases in the future yet to report, but inevitably sometime this year I'll put out some new stuff. been jamming with the band, working on some acoustic versions of some System Sin songs, and that's been a lot of fun. So those will be out this year for sure, but I'm also hoping to get some other new original stuff out this year as well. And I'm just using olive green in the shadows right here. Seeing if I can get away with that without going too dark with it. Hopefully just the right amount of dark. Yeah, to that point about Spotify and finding the new songs and stuff, I will say when I do, the Spotify algorithm is pretty keyed into what I like because every time I listen to one of their new release playlists or like suggested songs, I typically do find new songs that I like. I just don't do that as often as I should. Okay. I don't want to get too crazy with the details yet, but kind of got off on a little bit of a too early detail tangent there, but that's fine. Well, I'm hopeful that I get to see some art from some of you guys. If anyone is actually making art, I'm going to try to keep the color palette pretty limited on this guy, I think. Like I'm feeling just, so again, well, this is a big mess, but the the paint that I'm using on this one is iron oxide red, uh, olive green, alizarin crimson, uh, and titanium white, and then some black, which I actually haven't touched yet. And then there's my medium, but I think I might limit it to that. Certainly, I'm going to limit it to that for the face. There's always a chance that might do some wild, crazy colors on the cloth, though. But I don't know yet. We'll see when we get there. You know, if I were smart, I would set the laptop here so I can just look at you guys there and read the chats instead of having to turn all the way every time I want to look at the chat. But the garage in back of me that way doesn't look as cool. So I didn't do it that way. Let's see. Jennifer says she's making something awesome. Charlie showing love for Jennifer's painting. Yeah, you did a really great job on that painting. Really happy with how that turned out, and you should be proud of it because it's good work. Okay, let's get back to making this character a little pale. Oops, I forgot. This brush is getting shaky. I think this brush is not long for this world. Oh, and it just broke. So hey, now it goes in the trash. And we get another one. And again, that early layer, even that thin layer of the red, the iron oxide red that I had wiped off, is still wet enough on the canvas for me even now to still just come in here with this white and just selectively blend it with the red. And it's making some really interesting skin tone. I don't know if you can see. I wish that the bit rate on the live stream video was a little better because I feel like it really tends to wash out the colors. I mean, it is a pretty muted painting anyway, but it's starting to turn into something interesting. And now let's just add some blood, shall we? Why the heck not? And I'm just mixing a little of the crimson in with some white on my palette here and just creating a pink. And then bringing some of that iron oxide red back in. And some of the olive green, just get some little pockets, wrinkles on the lower lip here. And I'm just going to get a little bit of the white on my brush and mix that right in with the crimson. Just mix the wet paint right in with the wet paint, just to lighten it up. Think about where the, I mean, they're going to have kind of just this kind of wrinkly, gnarly chin anyway, but I want to think about where the light might hit it. And maybe we'll even take a thicker bit of this white and hit just a couple, you know, couple little glossy spots where the light is going to reflect. Let's see, catching up on the chat here. Let's see. Charlie says you can maybe put a tablet on the table to your left to view the chat. That is not a bad idea. Jennifer says your colors are so much more vibrant. I was blown away by all the color in your Dragon Slayers. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the screen doesn't, or the live stream especially, really doesn't do the colors justice. Andrew says Del Toro needs to hire you on because I feel like that would be an amazing collaboration. Yeah, I would love that, of course. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear that B&V is working on 2 new albums as well. That's super cool. He always does cool stuff, and he's a good dude. All right. I guess I should start thinking about what colors I want to bring into the wardrobe. I may, I'm just talking out loud here, so don't hold me to this. I may just keep the wardrobe fairly muted at first. So maybe in today's session, keep it fairly muted. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I go with crazy colors or should I go with muted colors that are more uh, in line with the look I've already established? Anyone have an opinion on such a thing? I'm gonna bring some more white back in and just get them a little more pale. Andrew says he liked how the muted works. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good about that and the face. I just don't know if I want to go crazy with with the cloth. Like if you need some on clothes or something. I don't know. I guess I can always add more color in later if I'm not feeling it. Maybe we'll start muted and then figure it out from there. Okay, 2 votes for muted. Charlie is just used to stuff having vivid colors. Yes. Well, we'll start muted. We can always add more color in later if we want. You know, yeah, I'm gonna keep this up kind of like brown, but maybe I want a little bit of yeah, maybe I'll go with the olive green in the background and have that give kind of a gradient to that. It'll still be muted, but that might help the sepia tones pop. But for now, let's just glaze in this color. Do the same thing I did on the skin. Just get a thin coat on and then wipe it off. Just leaving the little remnants behind. Yeah, this guy is kind of. Did you guys ever see Phantasm? Great, just really bizarre horror film from 1979, I believe. Don Coscarelli is the director. Anyway, there's these like little creature things that live in this mausoleum and travel between dimensions, and this guy is kind of looking like one of those things. For better or for worse. You can see, especially on this cloth, the benefits of doing that underpainting first, just working out those lights and shadows, because then when you put a thin layer of paint on top of it, it's just you get the main color that you laid down, but it's a little more dynamic because the light and the shadow work that you do in the underpainting shows through. Actually, I might not. Now that I think about it, I might not wipe this down. I might keep it in there. Let the pigment be bold in there, just to give me more to blend with once I start introducing more color. Or maybe I'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe I'll just selectively wipe away some of the highlight areas. Okay. I'm going to come back to the cloth. I just want to block in something more interesting than black in the background here real quick. Just nothing crazy. I don't even think I want imagery in the background. I just want a little bit more of a gradient. So I'm going to go through my paint here and see what I think is the right color for that. You know what? I'm going to go with the cobalt blue to start with. And once again, I'm going to mix the cobalt blue with a generous amount of liquid. So I can get it on there, spread it around fast. I want to keep it dark, so I'm still letting a lot of the black from the underpainting come through. And then, of course, I'll be introducing some titanium white, just mixing it right on the canvas with this in just a second to create a bit of a gradient. This is the difference is probably way too subtle for you guys to see via the webcam on here with this blue in there, but from where I'm sitting, it's adding a lot. Yeah, I want to say just thank you to you guys, everyone who has tuned in to watch me paint. It means a lot that you guys are sharing your Thursday night with me. I hope you guys get some out of this. I sure have fun doing these live streams, And I'm happy to have you guys join me. Yeah, man, I back my idea to use cobalt blue on the background. It's a pretty nice compliment to the rest of it. Thus far, until I mess it up. Does anybody watch Black Mirror, by the way? I don't know how new it is, but it is a new to me season of Black Mirror, season 7, which is on Netflix now. It's such a great show. It's so, every episode's just so completely different. They're just like, each episode's just like a short movie, basically. But man, without any spoilers, I'll just say that the first episode of this season was a bummer. But it was good, a good bummer. Um, but then my wife and I kind of binged the whole season. I think there's only 5 or 6 episodes in it. But yeah, again, really solid. That show never disappoints. Okay, so I got the let's see. I guess you can kind of tell. You can see now that it's wetter than before. So now that I have that in, what I can do, that cobalt blue base coat, is I can now just get a little bit of titanium white on my brush and just pick this area here where we're going to kind of have a gradient come out from. And I'm just softly working that white into the blue. And the further away I work it, the more it moves towards that darker blue, and just creates a nice gradient. And I'm just going to add a few little highlights into this backdrop just to break up the solid color. There we go. We'll call that background good enough for now. We will likely add something else to it. Likely, but not 100%. Oh, Andrew says shared the stream with Facebook. Thank you. Charlie says looks like someone I saw on the subway last week. Just less blood. Yep. Nice. Let's see. I gotta switch back to a smaller brush. Let's see, it is 8:39. Oh wow, we've been going for an hour and 39 minutes already. It does not feel like I've been painting for that long, which is a good thing. Time flies when you're doing something that you love. Yeah, I still gotta figure out what kind of a pattern I want to put on this cloth. That, though, is not going to happen during the live stream because I'm going to want to give this, the color a chance to dry. If I start adding a pattern in, I'm going to start smearing around the base color, and then I'm going to have to fix it, and I will just be making more work for myself. So that'll give me time to think about what I want the pattern of the cloth to be. But again, this red color that I threw in, it's still wet, so I'm just taking the titanium white and I'm just blending in with it, same way we just did with the background with the blues, doing that here with the red. You can see with the oil paint, it's much easier to get a nice smooth flow of the cloth than it is with the acrylic, at least for me. I mean, some people can do amazing stuff with acrylic, but I find that oil is just a little easier to manipulate for doing this kind of stuff. And again, I'm going back to the olive green just for some of these deeper shadow pockets. Charlie says, looking forward to what I do with the cloth. And she liked the star pattern on the last one. Oh, thank you. That's, yeah, it's always fun to figure out the cloth. And my dad says, looking great, Clint. Everyone say hi to my dad. Thanks for watching. Yeah, cloth can be pretty tricky to paint, but if you can get it right, it's can be a pretty satisfying result. But this one's a little far off from being right, but well, I'll get there. Yeah, I'm still not completely committing to the muted color of the cloth. I mean, it does look appropriate for this image, but then again, when do I paint things that are appropriate? We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I want to do something different with this fabric down here. So it's two different fabrics. This one, I don't know what kind of fabric that's going to be yet, but it will be something different. But I might figure that out once I figure out what pattern we're gonna add to there. But I have some sad news. We're getting to the point where this canvas is now completely saturated with oil paint, and very soon, in fact, I won't be able to do anything else on it until it dries. Um, but I feel pretty good about the progress so far. How are you guys feeling about this piece? Now, I think what I want to do with it, I mean, it's a very simple composition right now, right? It's just a dude and basic plain background. Obviously, like I said, we'll do something interesting with the patterns in there, but I may end up bringing a hand into it. Maybe he's reaching up, holding something. Maybe there'll be another character coming down from the bottom. Maybe there'll be something going on in the background. I don't know yet, but I think it kind of needs a little something more just to make it more intriguing. I'm going to bring it in a little closer to the camera. Hopefully this will help see it a little better without the glare. Um, but yeah, he's so far so good, right? So far so good. Yeah, another couple sessions on that, and he'll probably be wrapped up. But yeah, the canvas is saturated with paint. There isn't much else I can do tonight to fix that, so I think we're gonna go ahead and call it. I just want to say thank you everyone who tuned in to watch. Also, I have a new for the painting I did in the last session, just a refresher. This one I'm currently editing a video of the entire process, start to finish on that, so you can see this come together in 15 to 20 minute video. That should be out sometime soon, as soon as I finish editing. And yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight. I will see you guys again in 2 weeks. So if you're not already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when the next stream is. And yeah, thank you all so much. Have a great night.